So hi everyone, evening, and warm welcome to our Unstoppables team meeting, last day of March. I actually freaking out a little bit about the fact that it's the last day of March. Does anyone else think that this year is going ridiculously fast? Like absolutely crazy. That we're already a quarter of the way through the year. So whatever you set your goals, when we did all that goal setting in January, for those that were already in the business then, quarter of the way through already. Crikey. But there we are. So for those that haven't met me before, hi, I'm Celia. I'm senior group leader in the team, and basically just means that I've been in the business for quite a long time. So first of all, very warm welcome if this is your first team meeting. Sally, is this your first one or were you here last time?
No, it is the first one. So yeah, very pleased to be here. Looking forward to it.
Lovely. So hi, very warm welcome to Sally. I know it's Sally's first one. I think Sharon's first meeting as well. I think Sally might have been to another one, but lovely to have you all here. So we try and do these sort of weekly. I know there seems to be a lot going on when you're in the groups and a lot of different things. So just keep an eye on the Unstoppables chat, because anything that we share in there is generally worth going to. So that'll be team meetings. It'll be like the Sunday night, big night in that Wes does. And obviously we tell you in there about our info calls and really anything in there that's sort of current that you want to catch up with. I know sometimes it can be quite busy.
You scared me.
Oh, Andrea, hang on. But it's not, it's not too bad. So if you want to check anywhere and you're in several WhatsApp groups, just pop into the Unstoppables chat and have a scroll through and see if there's anything in there that you've missed or anything that needs to be shared. So what I wanted to do tonight is obviously say warm welcome to all our new members. Hi Chris, nice to see you here. Just going to go through a little bit of recognition of what's happened so far in March. I realise March doesn't quite end till midnight tonight, so I suppose things could still change. I don't know if anyone's got any appointments after this, but a little bit of March recognition anyway. And then and we'll talk about just who the top customer gatherers, recruiters and supporters are so far. And then I thought we would just sort of go through a few of the key points from Dan's interview with Wes last night on the Big Night In, or that was on Sunday night. So just give me a wave or a thumbs up or tell me in the chat if you have watched Dan Holmes's interview with Wes that I shared yesterday. I think Mike saw it late last night. Sue's seen it. Andrea, most of you have seen it. That's fine. I'm just going to pull out some points and basically ask you if what your best takeaways were as well from it. So we'll do that in a minute. So first of all, March recognition. If you're on here, please wave at us if I call your name out. Obviously, if you're watching this on catch up, then well done. I can't say well done to you personally if you're not here, but anyway. So we had the following people who got to qualified distributor through March, or have done so far. So a little shout out to Anasi, Leah, Jeremiah, Ola BC, Richard, Priya, Andrea, Dalfia, Siva, Sully, Tolu, and Olasegan. I can never say Olasegan. Jane, Olasegan, is that a shorter name for that one?
Shagun. Yeah. Well, it's either Olu or Shagun.
Olu or Shagun. Okay, that's fine. But anyway, big round of applause to all those people that I've just called out. Sully's on here, so well done, Sully, for getting to QB. Andrea's here as well, but she's going to have a shout out in a minute as well. So Sully, do you mind just quickly just say hello and where do you live and why have you joined us? Do you mind just to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Sully, based in Dunstable. I got after 6 years a message from Michael Elenas, who I used to work with together at Mercedes-Benz. Presented the opportunity, kept an open mind to it, joined it, and I think done fairly well in 1 week. Recruited 2 partners, 4 customers. I've got a couple of appointments later in the night. I also do, I'm a qualified mortgage and protection advisor as well. So that's my day job. And yeah, I'm excited. It's something to top up. And by the looks of things, it is starting to be the main thing, which is you never expect. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Absolutely brilliant. So anyone on here who knows any mortgage advisors, obviously, what a great story straight away. So Sully in his first weeks got to QD, got a couple of team members already, and obviously there's a lot of people at the moment, aren't there, Sully, that's mortgages are going up and coming out of fixed and, looking for ways to cut their costs, aren't there, in other ways. So absolutely brilliant time to be talking to people. So well done. Looking forward to seeing you fly. And well done, Mike, for reaching out to Sully, someone that you've known 6 years ago. That's amazing. And reaching out and sharing the opportunity, because that's what this is all about, isn't it? It's just making those contacts and going back to people. So really well done, Mike. Right, QD stars so far in March. We've had Philip, Tendai, Jeremiah and Andrea. So big round of applause to those guys for getting to QD star. Andrea, I know you're on here. I know you're at work. Can you say a quick
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
Well done. Where are you? Well done.
I'm here.
How are you finding it?
Yeah, good. You just get that buzz when somebody signs up and you get a new partner and customer, and it just, it just makes it all worth it, really. I was introduced to this actually, probably 10 or more years ago. And when I looked back at my WhatsApp, I seen Bernard, who is one of the senior group leaders, I believe. And yeah, I saw that he introduced me and I never took it up. And I just think, wow, if I'd have joined then, where would I be now? Probably not in England.
Oh, no, I know. Well, never mind. You're here now and you're galloping along with it. So that's absolutely fine. You could make up for those lost 10 years super quick. And to be honest, It was a very different business 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we didn't have a remote appointment. We didn't have the websites. We didn't have half the services. So, maybe the time just wasn't right for you then, and it is right for you now. So no regrets, just full steam ahead. Absolutely brilliant. Lovely to have you here. Well done. Really well done. And then senior qualified distributor. This month we've had Chioma, Hassan and Mike. So well done, Mike. You're here. So absolutely brilliant. Mike's great. Mike's still asking me questions every day. He's very keen to get his active partners up and running. So it's lovely that he's found Sully and Sully's going for it as well. So that's really good. So Mike, how are you feeling about it all?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, obviously we've got Sully on board, which is great. We worked well together and he's doing really well, supporting him. He's asking a lot of questions as well. And looking to get more customers and partners for April. Got a few lined up, so it should be good.
Good. Well, I think you're only 3 or 4 away from your next promotion of future team leader. So with Sully going like he is, you should, and you doing your activity.
Sully, get me over the line, mate. Get me over the line.
When you're sitting next to me, don't worry,
guys. And Sally is on here as well. Sally's another one of Mike's team. So Sally as well. We're all here to help. Let's get you all up and running. So absolutely fantastic. Well done. Then future team leaders in March, we've had Tolu and Aisha. So well done, guys. If you're watching on catch up, absolutely fantastic. I don't think either of them are here this evening. And obviously we had the lovely team leader. Jane, you confused me because I've always called Ade, and then you said he was Dapo in the recognition. Is he either?
Yeah, so Adebenga is the one that introduced Adedapo, but we call him Dapo.
Yeah, fine.
So obviously, Ade was already team leader.
So Dapo, yes, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant. And that was done pretty quick as well, wasn't it? Certainly within
under 3 months. So
yeah, under 3 months. That's absolutely amazing. So super job to have another team leader. So well done. Right, quickly just go through our top customer gatherers, or the top 3 customer gatherers in March so far. First place, Jeremiah on 7. Which is amazing. Second place, Mike, so far. Sully might catch up with you overnight if he's got Mike so far. Second on 6, well done. And Andrea, well done on 5 at the moment. Lots of people on 3 and 4 and 2, but well done, guys. That's brilliant. Top recruiters in March, Andrea again, well done, Andrea and Gozzy, both on 6 partners each, which is amazing. And Jane, well done on 5. So well done, guys. That's brilliant. Bit quieter. We've all been a bit quieter in March. It's odd. We had a steaming February and then we've been a bit quieter in March. It's just the way it is sometimes. That's just the way it is, but everyone's still doing great stuff. And then supporting, top supporter as always, leading from the front in her SGL business. Well done, Jane. Absolutely brilliant. Jodie in second place. I don't think Jodie's here this evening. I think Jack's just joined us, but well done, Jodie. And I was in 3rd place, slacking a bit. Sorry, everyone. Keep going on holiday. I'll try and do better. And I know Bunmi's only 4 now to TL as well, isn't she, Jane? So there's a few other people
she's
quite
pushing
close.
For that.
Yeah.
That will be done in April for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's March has been and gone now, unless you've got any appointments this evening. And it is what it is. You can't go back and change March. But what we can do is set some nice, exciting goals for April. Now, April is going to be amazing. I'm calling it Amazing, Awesome and Abundant April. That's what April is in my book. So anyone want to join in on that, then please do. Now, the great thing about April is we do have Power Up in the middle of April. Okay, so I'm not seeking forgiveness at all for the fact that I'm still pushing you all. If you're on this call and you haven't yet booked your tickets for Power Up on the 18th of April, you need to be there. All right, you absolutely need to be there. So Power Up in April, anything that we do now from tomorrow up till Power Up, I believe will count towards the new holiday incentive. I've had that whispered in my ear. Okay, so I believe it will. So certainly don't wait till Power Up to see what announcements are coming. Crack on. All right, so start from the 1st of April, get cracking. That's all going to count towards the new holiday incentive. But we do know at Power Up they always bring out some amazing stuff for us all, and there is always something special for people that are in the room. Okay, so if you're not going to be in the room, there is going to be perhaps an incentive or two that you can't go for, but you know, it is what it is. I will do on the Monday evening, our team meeting will be a Power Up catch up, okay, on Monday night. So for those that can't make it, we'll make sure that we get you all the information and hints and tips about how to use it as well. For those of you that are going to Power Up, I have got the list on the portal of everyone in the team. So I will create a WhatsApp group for us all that are going to be there over the weekend so that we can meet up and, you know, say hello and, you know, meet up at lunchtime, etc. if we can't actually manage to sit together, but we'll do our best. And I know the few of you have got hotel rooms booked and everything else. It's going to be a fabulous weekend. I can't wait. Right. Dan Holmes then. So fascinating story. Just going to do a bit of a recap of his story and background, because some of it will probably be missed by some of you that don't know him. So Dan joined the business basically and got to team leader fairly quickly. I think within his first 6 months. So he got to team leader and then he just stalled. Life got in the way. He felt a bit stuck. Didn't really do much for 5 years. Okay, so he was team leader position for 5 years. And then a few things happened, life circumstances, etc. And he suddenly decided to make UW his number one priority. And he went then from team leader at the age of 25 years old, to national group leader at the age of 29. Now, there have only ever been 12 national group leaders ever in the history of the company. So just to put it in perspective, what he achieved. And to get from team leader to national group leader in 4 years is absolutely extraordinary. So for those that you don't know, if you get to national group leader, or when you get to national group leader, you now get a minimum of £7,000 a month in group residual income. All right, so at senior group leader, the level Jane and I are at, you get a minimum of £2,000 a month. When you get to national group leader, you get a minimum of £7,000 a month. And that's just in one part of our income. That's just the group residual income. On top of that will be personal residual and bonuses and everything else. And actually, Dan did state last on the call that he's actually made over 90,000 in the last 3 months. So since getting to NGL, he's earned over £90,000 with UW. And that's through all the other bonuses you get, like leadership development bonus, supporting bonuses, on top of obviously his residual. So for everybody on this call, would £30,000 a month be okay for you all? I just want to make sure I'm in the right room. Would 30 grand a month be all right? Could you cope on that?
Is that it?
That's amazing.
Is that it? Oh, I'm going.
To be honest, take a naught off that. £3,000 a month in residual income is pretty bloody cool. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, but how inspirational and how amazing. And what's interesting as well is his wife's senior group leader anyway as well. So, I mean, her income will be another at least 3 or 4, 5, 6 grand a month on top of that as well. So the pair of them are doing pretty well for a couple that aren't even 30 yet. And they've recently had their baby, which is amazing. So I'm just going to pull a few things out. I mean, some of these you will have heard. I mean, I know Dan quite well. You know, I've heard his story and know it well. I know, Jane, you picked out the number one thing I'm going to say now, you know, when you put your post up earlier, because it's so true. And I've already said it once. You know, the key thing that I pulled out of the training to start with was the fact that he made a decision to go for it. You know, I've always said that when I joined the business to start with, I decided to give it a go, you know, when I started, but then very soon decided to make a go of it. And that is two very, very different things. Some of you listening to this might still be on the, I'm giving it a go. You know, I'm dipping my toe in the water. I'm seeing what I can do. But as soon as you make a decision to make it work and to make a go of it, that's a very, very different mindset. One thing that is very obvious from Dan and from his wife, Amy, is they are both quite naturally confident. They are both, you know, they're both working together on their belief and all of that sort of stuff. And I think that their mindset was in a very, very good place. So don't beat yourself up if part of you thinks, well, I just don't know if I could do that. You know, you're lacking that bit of belief in yourself, because that comes with time. And some of the other things we're going to talk about can really help with that anyway. So number one I've written is make a decision. You know, wherever you're at in the business today, if you really, really want to change your life and you really want some of that passive income that's available to us all, it's only you that can decide to have that. You know, I can't tell you to do it. No one else is going to do that for you. It's just about you drawing a line in the sand and saying, from today, I decide that I'm going to make this work. And there's other things coming as well. So number two thing, again, these aren't necessarily in the order that he talked about it. It's just the things that came to mind when I was thinking about it earlier. The second thing that he said was that he was willing to get in the car, travel to events, go and meet up with his mentor, you know, Steph, study successful people. And from making that decision, he was willing to do whatever it takes to succeed. And I honestly think, and actually he's done all of that since lockdown, which is brilliant, because what I was going to say is before lockdown, we were all much more inclined, I think, to get in the car and go to trainings and travel places. Those of us that have been in the business a long time, I know some of you have joined recently, but, you know, it was sort of a done thing that we'd go and get in the room. And then when lockdown came and the remote system came, and like we have these Zoom calls and things like that, it's become quite easy to be quite lazy in the business and think that you don't need to travel. You don't need to go and seek out success in other people. So my, you know, thing that I took out of that, and certainly I know that my first, you know, few years in the business, I was traveling up and down the country all the time, going to info meetings, opportunity meetings, you know, those Jimmy Chapman used to do those recruiting masterclasses that were, you know, all around the country. And whenever I could, and this is when I was a mum to toddlers and also it wasn't easy, but whenever I could, I went to those events. So definitely, I know some of you live in different countries, which does make it more difficult. But if you're in this country and you can get to these events, then absolutely, you know, you must do that and study those successful people. Number three, I've put willing to pay the price. Now, Dan and Amy made that decision, you know, that they were a young couple. They didn't have anything else on. They weren't doing any other jobs, you know, so they really made that decision to work this full time together and pay the price. By that, I mean, what might you have to give up if you want this to work? And this is all your decisions. I'm not stating that you have to do any of these things. All I'm doing is I know what it takes to get to that level, or even to the level Jane and I are at now. And there are things that you're going to have to be prepared to do if you want to get there. Okay, so when I joined the business, I realized I wasn't going to be able to carry on competing horses. So I literally gave up my competing of horses, which was my passion, because I couldn't do that, be a mum and build my business. I couldn't, you know, it physically wasn't possible for me to do all those things. Something had to go. So 16 years ago, I made the choice that I was going to prioritize this business over other things that I was currently doing to make sure that I made time for it. Now I'm very, very glad of that decision, because now I have the time freedom that I can go to competitions with Roxy. I can ride when I want to. I can do whatever I want to, but I wouldn't have got here had I not made those decisions back then. Does that make sense, everybody? So again, this is a choice. But if you want to get to the high levels in this business, then you are going to have to treat it as a priority. And number four is prioritize the business. Make it a priority. It doesn't have to be your number one priority. I mean, obviously you've got to feed your kids, you know, you've got to look after your kids. Family, you know, to me always does come first. But if you want to move forwards, then making this quite a serious priority is going to be important. I hope that you all heard these things from Dan as well, because, you know, everyone will have heard that call differently. And I've probably heard it differently because I've travelled on the journey a bit more and I know him and I've heard him say a lot of it before, you know. So again, some of it might have resonated with me differently, but this is stuff that I pulled out of it. Number 5, which we've been talking about, anyone that's been on my courses recently and talking about manifesting and stepping up and getting into the next level you and all of this stuff. Dan said so many things last night that was on those levels. Tracy's nodding because she's just been through the academy with me, and I bet you realise that. The thing he said about dressing for success, did you hear him say that we've always dressed as if we were already at that next level? And that really resonated with me, because that's what we've been saying. You have to believe you can get to the level, and you have to start acting as if you're already there. And it's not about being false, it's just about having that belief and that posture. And so when Dan said about dressing for success, dressing as if they'd already got there, that was them already, you know, being on the front row at the events, you know, dressing smartly. He was in his head, he was a national group leader way before he got there. And that's why he got there. That's why he is, because he manifested it. He had basically put himself in those shoes, which is brilliant. Belief. Heard him say that, you know, how many people want to go and share this opportunity with people they don't know on Facebook rather than with their friends and family? And he said that was just a lack of belief, you know, a lack of belief in the business. Because if you really believe what we've got is amazing, which it is, you will go and share it with people you know. And yet a lot of us still hide behind, you know, not really working our list properly and, you know, going on Facebook and trying to talk to random strangers rather than actually going through your own phone and picking it up and saying to people that you know and care about, I've got something amazing I need to show you. You know, so that's crazy. It's crazy. We all still do it, but it's, you know, it's so true. I liked it when he said about disappointments, you know, that we all have disappointments in the business, but it's about managing those disappointments. So, you know, if you're going to have a pity party, have a 5-minute one, not a 5-week one. We know people in the business when something goes wrong that put the business down completely and don't pick it up for weeks. Okay, and that's not the way to build it. I've put here, get back on the horse, because I know some of you will have heard my horse riding story, you know, building resilience when you get bucked off and you get straight back on. Dan said, pick up the phone again, you know, so once you've been disappointed and you've had a difficult call, make sure you bounce back and, you know, make the next call, speak to the next person, which was brilliant as well. Anyone so far, is that all resonating with you all? Is that sort of stuff that you heard as well? And it's just sometimes nice to sort of really think about the you know.
It does indeed. And I would say with picking up with friends and family, having the confidence yourself, starting with yourself, and then paying that price, which is the first embarrassment. Embarrassment is the price you pay for success. So you can't be embarrassed about it. This is what you do for a living. Whether it's your first priority or second, you start with your friends and family, you are saving the money and you build from there, and be confident about it. There's nothing like hiding behind the embarrassment, and just put yourself out there. That's it.
I love that. Embarrassment is your first price to pay, paying the price. I absolutely love that, Sally. That's brilliant. That I've stolen that quote. Write that down, everyone. That's absolutely bloody brilliant. So yes, well done. Love that. Right, so I've got these in. Number 8, I've written down. Now, this was very, very key in his success, and this is something that I absolutely do urge you all to do at whatever level is right to you, is he talked about when he made the decision to contact at least 2 people a day. Okay, that's what he really puts down to his success from moving forward from that team leader spot, was when he set himself a non-negotiable daily target, if you like, for want of a better word, of sharing the opportunity with at least 2 people a day. And it doesn't, you know, sharing the opportunity doesn't necessarily mean 2 appointments a day. For those of you that are busy, now obviously Dan wasn't doing anything else. He's had a lot of time on his hands, as in he could really focus. But to reach out to 2 people a day as a minimum, if you're just sending a message, like Mike, and you know, sent me a message today that he's been sending out to his contact list, which was just, you know, you may know I'm doing something from home, looking for people that want to earn 2 to 3 extra £1,000 a month, you know, part-time. Do you know anyone? That sort of third party. Dan talked about third party as well, didn't he, last night? I forgot to write that down. He talked about that being a rejection-free way of pitching to people, which I've always said that, because if you go third party, you're not actually asking the person, you're saying, who do you know? So you know, you're not going to be rejected as such. But the point is, whatever that minimum is for you, now everyone on this call has different time frames, different ambitions, different, stuff going on in your life. Doesn't matter. That's for you to decide. But if you were to set yourself an absolute daily minimum, you can't really go less than one a day, can you? But let's say you just said, right, I am, whatever happens in my life for the next 365 days, I think he said he had Christmas Day off, you're going to reach out to at least one person about this business, and you make that a consistent, your consistent rule. Absolutely. No matter what, whatever it takes, whatever's going on, I'm going to reach out to one person a day. Do you imagine your business will have moved forward by this time next year?
Yeah.
100%, yeah. Imagine if you could get all your team to reach out to just one person a day. Imagine what your business would look like then. Because I think that's the problem. People think, oh, I've got to do loads and loads and loads, and I haven't got time, and I'm overwhelmed, and I've got other jobs and kids. So then they do nothing. And that's the problem. It's not about doing loads for a week and then getting overwhelmed and then stopping, because every time you stop and you pick the business back up, it feels a little bit heavier. All right. It's harder to pick it back up once you've stopped. So if you can just make your absolute non-negotiable daily habit of at least one a day, or you might say 2 a day. Some of you might say 5 a day. It's up to you what you do. You might say, I can't do 1 a day, but I can definitely do 5 a week, whatever it is. But it's better to do 1 a day than it is to do 7 one day a week. All right, it really is, because it's getting yourself, building a daily habit so that you just, as part of your day, you're going to send that message, or you're going to send that UW story, or you're going to invite someone to one of our info calls, or you're going to offer to do them a quote, or whatever it is. It's about getting eyes on the business. So maybe part of our setting our goals for April is, why don't you set yourself a daily goal now just for April? Just from now, from tomorrow till the end of April. What do you think realistically you could do, non-negotiable, every single day? And I'm talking about activity, not results. Because if you focus on consistent activity, the results will follow. If you set yourself a goal of, I'm going to sign up 5 customers by the end of April, you can't actually control that. All right? Because you can't control the outcome of the calls. You can control how many people you get to take a look. Absolutely, Chris. No, I'm not saying that at all. I've said Dan and Amy are completely different. They haven't just done 2 a day at all, but they were 2 of them working it full time as well for 4 years. Dan and Amy have worked the business extremely hard. I know that Dan will have had 30, 40 conversations nearly every day. Okay, absolutely. They're both hard workers. But what changed for him was when he started and set the minimum and realized that it was a consistent habit. The thing is, if you start doing that consistently, like I've got it the same now, I have people coming to me most days that I showed it a while back, because people do come back to you. And that's what he said when the baby was born and he wasn't even doing outreach. He still signed up 4 partners because he got so many wheels in motion and so many people looking at the business that people are still going to start coming back to you as well. So you set your minimum, but it is only a minimum. And as Chris said, if you're on a roll and you're having a good day, speak to 30 that day. There is no maximum, but there has to be a minimum just to get yourself into that consistent activity.
You want another quote for that? You want another quote? I'm a man of many quotes.
Come on, Sully. Let's have another Sully quote. I'm loving it.
Yeah, they say, we're talking about habits, they say the wrong result with the right habits is experience, but the right result with the wrong habits is a coincidence. So have the right habits.
So you need to, you put that in the chat for me in a minute, Sully. In the Unstoppables chat, I need quotes from Sully straight into the chat. That's absolutely brilliant and absolutely right as well. And they do talk about habit stacking as well, don't they? So if there's something like, when you boil the kettle, get into the habit. When you boil the kettle, you send a message out, or whatever it is, but something that you can just make sure you can fit in on a daily basis, whatever you're doing. And definitely, 1, 2, 5, whatever it is, but set yourself a minimum. And remember, as I said, the minimum is absolutely the non-negotiable minimum. Above that, obviously, is going to be better. Some days you're going to do a lot more than others. He talked a bit about social media, which I loved what he said on social media as well, because he nearly quoted what I said the other day. Again, Tracy, you'll have heard me say this when I said, I always say, don't I, that people don't go on Facebook to buy gas and electricity. They don't. People don't go on Facebook. And he said, what Dan said last time was, people don't go on Facebook to look at graphs about fixed prices. And that just made me laugh. So I'm glad he said it, because it's given me more confidence to back up what I've been saying for ages, is stop advertising the services on Facebook. Stop putting your purple banners all over your Facebook. Stop talking about Utility Warehouse on your Facebook, because people just completely scroll over it. It's just advertising. It's just blatant advertising. People are not interested. They're not interested. If you're going to talk about it in a conversational way, as part of an interesting post that's connecting with people and talking about it on a deeper level. Not just buy your cheap gas and electric here. I know you don't say that, anyone, but that's the thing. So he was basically saying about social media. I know that for a fact, Dan, a lot of his recruiting has come through Facebook. He uses Facebook a lot more than he sort of talked about last night. I know that for a fact, but he does it a lot more through connecting with people, personal outreach, getting conversations going and sharing the opportunity with people, but not by blasting it all over his wall. So it's about building that up. Testimonials, stories, proper connections is really important on there. And he talked as well, didn't he, about meeting people online and then bringing them offline, so the idea would be that you meet people in your local area on your, Facebook, social media, and then you actually meet them face to face. And then the last one I've just put, again, attend events, because that was, what he was saying. He's got over 100 of his team going to Mastermind. That blew me away. So wow. Mastermind, for those of you that don't know, is a network marketing industry-led fantastic event. It's in Bulgaria this year. A few of us are going. I'm really excited about it, but I haven't actually been to that event yet. So I'm going to go this year and then promote it like mad to the team next year. But I know that, people that are going have already got to just go in. Yes, putting his story at the top of his social media feed and having, he's got his own video as well that he sends out to people when they're interested in the business. So what was your best, anybody out of all of that and anything else that I've missed, what was it that made you, perhaps realise what you got hands on from that call, that those that have watched it? Anything?
I've got 3 things. Yes, make UW a priority. Set expectations and standards. Manage disappointments, and it is unbelievably worth it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that was another bit, actually. I've just forgot to write that down about the expectations with new partners. QD Star can happen within a couple of days. The expectation that it's just going to happen was really good as well, about sort of how he starts people off. But yeah, okay, absolutely. Is it worth it? I mean, God, 100% for those two. They're absolutely set up, aren't they, for life completely? They live in a beautiful house. They've already got 1 kid. They both work from home. They're on thousands of pounds a month. Talk about living the dream. Amazing. And I have to say as well, this is a personal choice for everybody. And I mean, I definitely did make big choices when I joined the business. I've definitely paid the price, and I've definitely been really consistent. When I saw that now, the stage I'm at now, I already get a few £1,000s a month now in residual income, which I, am very, very grateful for. And I personally now I don't want to do the next 4 years, 10 hours a day on UW, because I'm 58 years old now and I want to bloody enjoy now the hard work that I put in at the beginning, if that makes sense. So I'm still building my business, but I'm doing it at a way that really suits me and I'm really enjoying. And how amazing that I can do that. But that is still as a result of what I did, in the first 5 to 10 years I was in the business. So you're going to have different stages, but if your life isn't where it wants to be now, for all of you or any of you, if you're not getting the income you want, or you haven't got the freedom you want, because it's the income and the freedom, isn't it? It's the time freedom, then definitely focus as much as you can, because people are getting there a lot quicker than they ever have done before. People are getting to senior group leader within a year, even people working full-time jobs. There was a guy the other day, wasn't there, that got senior group leader working full-time in the NHS. So it is possible for all of you that are working and doing other things to still build an incredible business really quite quickly. It's just about those absolute consistent daily non-negotiables, and then really getting good at duplicating that in the team. That's the key, isn't it? Is getting as many people as you can doing those little daily non-negotiables so that it starts to grow much quicker. So really, so that, think about, what do you want now? So what's your minimum for April? What do you need for your next level? he also talked us, which we've said this recently, Jane and I will be chatting about the fact that, you know, we used to show people team leader, didn't we? Or we used to get shown team leader in the getting started training when we joined. And now everyone talks about QD Star. And then the team leader bit isn't maybe as obvious. So definitely getting people focused on team leader. So if you're on here and you don't know what team leader is, that's really should be your first goal. All the other bits you're going to get on the way. So,
yeah, what I loved about what he said was, you know, like everybody's set the expectations high, as in everybody should be getting to QD Star. You know, if you've only joined the business to sign up 3 customers and then stop, then it's like, you know, have a bigger vision. But I love the fact that he said when you get to QD Star, he doesn't bother with saying, right, well, now you need one more partner to get to senior QD. You know, it's like literally gun for team leader, and you pick up £750 of bonuses along the way. Because people can get to team leader within 30 days. They can.
Yeah, and we didn't used to have these other levels, did we? I mean, again, when we joined, it was QD to team leader. So it was just like, that's what you did. That's what you worked towards. And I think the levels have been great to break it down and to give people more money. But sometimes it has taken the focus off where you really want to get to, which is team leader. Right. So I know there's a few of you on here now, quite a few of you on here this evening that aren't yet team leader. So who can tell me? Who can tell me who isn't yet a team leader? So if you are team leader and above, then who can tell me who isn't yet team leader? How many personal customers you need to get to team leader? Anybody on here that isn't a team leader yet, can you tell me how many personal customers you need to be a team leader? Mike's looking at his notes. He's thinking, shoot, we went through this the other day. I can see.
Mike, you didn't tell me.
Group's 50, right?
50.
Did you say 50?
20.
No, it's not 20. And it's not 50. Personal customers, this is. Personal customers. Okay, Kieran's put it in the chat. I'll let her off because she isn't yet. So it's 10 personal customers. Okay, so there are 10 customers that you've personally signed up. And then group customers, Mike, you were right. So it's 50 group customers, all right? So that's you and your team. Okay,
more than 10 personal.
So no, it's 10 personal, 50 group. And then does anyone know what else you need for the structure to get to team leader? What do you need your team to have done?
To get to QD?
Yes, well done. How many of them?
3.
Yay! Well done, Mike. well done, Mike.
Come on, Sally, what are you waiting for?
Getting there.
So Sally, no pressure, but I think Mike's saying that he needs you to get to QD soon. Sally's already done it. Yeah, fantastic. So draw that out. If you haven't got that drawn out yet, draw that out. So you have you at the top. Write down how many personal customers you've got or how many you need, and then your 3 legs. And who are they? And are they QD or not? We always teach you to go 5 wide. Okay, so you're not just going 3 QDs. You want to build 5 wide, and that's because that's the next level. You need to be 5 wide for the next level, which is senior team leader. So we'll do that on the next call. But absolutely focus on getting to team leader, because as Jane rightly said, if you get to team leader within 6 months of joining, there is, well, if you put the QD Star bonus in as well, there's £1,250 worth of bonuses. Just the bonuses, and that's not including obviously your customer bonus. You'll probably be supporting your team by then as well. You also get matching bonuses if you recruit people that get to QD Star. So Mike, when Sully gets to QD Star and gets his £500 bonus, which he will do without any shadow of a doubt, you will get £400. Did you know that?
No, it's good.
No, I didn't know. So there we are, everyone. The Getting to QD Star training, I have sent that over to you, Mike. I think I'm going to send it again. But yeah, so in the Getting to QD Star training, it talks about all the money on the table for you as the recruiter as well. Okay, because there is it gets interesting if you've got a few people all going for QD Star. So well done. Jack and Jodie, hello, good evening. Are you all right?
Hello.
Have you seen that? Yeah, I know, Jack, you saw it. Jodie, did you watch the Dan Holmes thing as well?
Yeah, absolutely thing from it. I might actually try and watch it again.
Yeah, I've just gone through loads of the points from it. I don't know how much of that you heard, but it is very good. And I'm not sure when the next replays are. I put them all up there. I think there's still some tomorrow, isn't there? So if anyone hasn't listened to it,
Weird and Amy Holmes, but funnier.
Okay, that's fine. We can live with that. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, anyone got anything else they'd like to share or ask? Anyone else? Anything else? There's lots going on with the new presentation. Something else came up today, which I haven't had a chance to look at. Something about quotes in the app. Chris, do you know anything about that? I'm only asking you because I thought you might have seen it.
I saw some conversation, and essentially you could just have a chat with someone, find out which services they're not going to have an issue with covering the early termination fees, find out, what sort of speed they need, that kind of thing, and then put a quote together, send it over to them, and they can finish it off. They can amend it, or they can just hit next and approve it. But it's far better to show them the proper presentation.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. We've already had that. It was something
right.
Something else came out today. Something about the profiles as well. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Okay, I'll look at it and find out what it is. Yeah, because we can do that ever since the new presentation came out, what you've just said, which is great, absolutely great. But there was something else that came out this afternoon about...
I think it said you can save the quote in their profile on the app.
That's right. Something like that, wasn't it? Or if you've done a profile, if they're in your app, it will automatically know that you've done a quote, I think, and it'll be in there. I think that's what it was. So I've got to admit, hands up, I don't put all my people in my app. I know I need to get better at it. I've still got my pen and my piece of paper, which works really well for me, but I need to get more tech savvy as they do more things. But it's going to, I've certainly used it to send quotes out after I've had a conversation. If people aren't ready to sign on the dotted line after the end of your presentation, it's great then that you can just send them the quote and they complete it. Mike, have you done any that you've sent over? Have you signed anyone up where you've sent the quote? Because I know you've done a few of that, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's worked okay for you.
Yes, yeah,
fair play, well done. Okay, fabulous. So let's get all your goals then. If anyone wants to post in the chat what your goals are for April, what your minimums are, we can have a bit of accountability going on in there. That's what this is all about. I can't remember when the next team meeting is. There isn't one next Monday because it's Bank Holiday Monday. I did put a list up. Have you all seen the list of dates and times up to date that I put in the chat? And that's got all the info calls and all the team meetings and everything in there as well. Oh yeah, just to mention, I am starting the weekly training, which is in my leadership and momentum membership, and that's for people that are paying for leads. However, the training is available for all of the Unstoppables team. Okay, so the trainings that'll be happening once a week. As part of the team, you are all very welcome to come along to the trainings, and I will record them and share them as well. So even if you're not paying for the leads, you can still access the training. Okay, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just ask me. If I hope that makes sense. But I'll share the Zoom link. So the next training then, or the first training for that, is on Friday morning. I realise it's Good Friday, but I'm doing it anyway. Friday morning. So I'll post that in the chat and I'll put the Zoom link in there as well for anyone that wants to join in with that. And it will be recorded, so you'll be able to access it afterwards as well. And it's going to be quite a short half-hour training, all to do with recruiting, team building, structure, placing, all of those subjects will be covered, leadership and things as well. Okay, right. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming along. If you're watching this on catch up, thank you for giving up your time and watching it. And let's share in fact, let's put in the chat now before we finish. Let's have a bit of accountability. Okay, Andrew, well done. She's put 8 new partners and at least 3 of them to reach QD Star. Amazing. By the end of April, that'll get you to team leader by the end of April if you do that. So that's fantastic. Well done. What about the daily minimums? Who wants to pop in the chat what they've decided their non-negotiable daily minimum's going to be? Is anyone going to do that? How many a day, Matt? Oh, you said per day, but I didn't see the figure. 3 customer a day for Sally. Reach out. Well done. Sally, remember, focus on people rather than necessarily customers, because it could be customers, could be partners, couldn't it? So just, share out 3 a day for Jack. Amazing. 3 to 5 a day, 2 a day minimum. Well done, Kate. Yeah. Whatever it is, write it down and stick to it. Stick to it 100%, even just from now to the end of April, and just see what difference it's made. 2 a day, Matt. Brilliant. So this is your minimum outreach every single day. 5 conversations a day, 6 days a week. Chris is are you having Sundays off, Chris? You having Sunday off? Yeah. 2 a day, Anna. Well done, Anna. That's brilliant. Anna's new as well, so that's fantastic.
Sunday is my sailing day. You should know that.
Oh, of course. Yes, you're sailing on a Sunday. That's fine. That's fine. I'll let you off. 5 a day, Jane. Brilliant. Well done. Well, let's keep in touch with everyone and let's know how it's going. And if if you're doing something that's working well, or you're using a particular script or a message that's working well, then share it. We're all here to help each other. So use the chat, share it, ask questions. We're all just here to help and support, and it is worth it. I promise you it is worth it. You've just got to stick your neck out there and just do a few things. Make sure that you're going to be a little bit, might make you feel a bit uncomfortable, but that's how we grow, isn't it? So it's all good. Sully and Sally and Mike, let's set a time when we can all have a little group meeting as well, so that we can throw some ideas around and get you all to team leader. All 3 of you to team leader by the end of April. There we are, Mike. That's a goal for you. And I know Mike's going to power up, so well done. So brilliant. Well done, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Lovely to see you all. Have a lovely rest of the evening and looking forward to an absolutely brilliant April. See you all soon.
Take care.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.